This is Abe Friedtanzer from Awards Radar, and I'm so thrilled to be speaking with Aubrey Plaza about The White Lotus. How are you, Aubrey?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm sure there are many reasons, but what was the main motivation for you to join this show?
To work with Mike White. I'm such a huge fan of his, and I was for forever. And I've just been, yeah, just been scheming and doing spells and trying to work with him for years. So I just wanted to work with Mike.
Was that what you expected, or was it surprising at all?
What do you mean?
Working with him,
Well,
the experience of working with him.
oh, it was. I mean, he's brilliant. I don't know. It was everything I ever hoped for.
That's great. And what could you
Yeah.
relate to most about the character of Harper?
I think, well, I really relate to the kind of feeling of being in a really long-term relationship. I've been in a relationship for over 10 years with my husband. And so I think I relate to kind of the feeling of like the ebbs and flows of marriage, and of long-term relationships and kind of feeling, like you're kind of stuck or something, and then kind of getting it back. So yeah, I think that those kinds of things I totally related to.
And what kind of dynamic did you create with Will and Theo and Megan to like make that foursome entertaining to watch?
Well, first of all, we were all, stuck on the island together. And so we all, I mean, the whole cast really, we all just were constantly hanging out and going to dinners and getting to know each other. And so I think all the bonding really helped. And so many dinners, just a lot of a lot of dinners, and just like in the show. So, and then and a lot of times, like in the exact place that we shot the scenes in the show. So the lines of reality were just very blurry. But I think it was really just about, yeah, just kind of like getting to know each other and feeling kind of really safe to kind of work together and explore these kinds of things and be able to kind of just dive off the deep end together.
I think my favorite moment is, when she's like, fine, I'll be friendly now, and completely changes her attitude. And it just, I think that's got to be a lot more difficult than it sort of is for her. And she gets an interesting trajectory after that.
Yes, that's quite a turning point in the show. And yeah, I think Mike and I got a really big kick out of that whole kind of sequence. It was probably one of the most fun scenes that we shot was the scene in 301 or 302, like after I say like I'm gonna be lovely, just watch me, and then I go into the breakfast and I was just being, I mean, Mike really calibrated my performance because I was being very, I was taking it to all kinds of different places, but it was very funny. It was very funny and very telling with our dynamic because he kept kind of shouting to me like, just be not like be a nice normal wife, and I was like, I am, but I wasn't. So it was funny. I don't know.
No, I think so. I also like that look on her face after she found the condom and she's just around Ethan and he's not being straight with her. And I describe it probably as murderous. That's probably the best descriptor, right?
Really? Okay. I don't know. I
So,
don't
but
know.
that
I
was
mean, people
entertaining to
think
see.
I'm murderous when I'm just, in line at the DMV, and I just, yeah, I don't, something about my face, just,
It was also cool to see that scene, which was inspired by La Ventura by Antonioni. What was it like to, be the center of that?
um, it was very dreamlike and a dream come true for me because I'm such a like movie nerd, and I really appreciate movies, and I feel, I I think of White Lotus as a movie, just as like a 7 hour movie. And um I don't know, I felt very honored. I felt very honored to be able to experience what Monica Vitti must have experienced in a slight tiny little way. And I don't know, it was just one of those like magical days. It was a really beautiful day, and just to be in that location. I mean, it's just that you can't ever I don't know. It's just that's the magic of being an actor, you know. You get thrown into these situations sometimes and you're like, how could I be so lucky to be part of this, you know? It was beautiful.
And how do you feel about how Harper's arc turned out? Do you feel like she got the ending that she should have?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. For me it was always a love story. That's what I love. That's what I think is so beautiful about her and Ethan's journey is that it's really about two people kind of falling back in lust with each other or in love with each other, whatever you want to call it. Which is so true. It's just that's how relationships are, you know. You just you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down, and I just love the idea that really like that's what it's about, you know. It's about two people being intimate with each other and discovering each other again after years of maybe feeling kind of stuck or something. So I thought it was really beautiful.
I think that's a good way of putting it also. When I talked to Will, I said, how do you feel that he has a happy ending? And he said, I don't really see it as a happy ending. It's that this is a sort of positive point for them, but they're going to go through a lot more in their relationship.
He would say something like that, wouldn't he?
There's obviously such a big cast, and I'm sure at these dinners you got to meet a lot of people, but is there anyone in the cast you would have really liked to share scenes with that you didn't get to?
Oh my God, are you kidding? Like everyone. It's hard for me to pick, but you know what? I had like a brief, like I had like two little like brief moments with Valentina. Um, and I think she's so funny. She's one of my favorite characters on the show. I love everything she did in the show. So I wish I had like a more like meteor scene with her. That would have been fun.
Yeah. And I've enjoyed watching you, as I'm sure many others have, on Parks and Recreation and Legion. Do you feel like the experience of making this TV show was drastically different than those two? I'm sure they were also different from each other.
Yes, I would say that like if you line these three shows up, it's very schizophrenic. N- Nothing like it, nothing like it, nothing similar about it. I mean, nothing really. I mean, I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of connection with April Ludgate and Harper or something. I'm sure everybody thinks that, but no, they're completely they're really different. I'm lucky to be able to yeah to be able to look at that and go, man, I really just experience all three of those worlds. Crazy different worlds.
I do talk a lot about the March 31st, 94 meetings episode with my wife. That comes up very frequently
Yeah,
in
yeah.
conversation. So very immortalized, and I'm sure this
I
show
know.
will
I
be as
still don't
well.
honestly think that's a real day. You know what I mean? Every time it happens, I'm like, this is like a joke, I think. But you got to believe the government, I guess.
It's true. It's true. Well, this has been a great year for you. You were also in, and you produced Emily the Criminal. You got a lot of praise on our Awards Radar podcast for your performance and also two Independent Spirit Award nominations. Can you just talk about what it was like working on that film?
I always say like the experience of working on it was really replicated the spirit of the actual film itself. It felt like every day we were pulling off some kind of big scam, you know, in Los Angeles. Because it was such a small movie. It was really a down and dirty kind of production and filled with heart. You know, everybody that worked on the movie, everybody in the crew just put everything into it, and really one of the best experiences of my career. Honestly, it was so fulfilling every day. I loved it.
That's great. I'm also a big Sons of Anarchy fan, so it's nice to see Theo Rossi getting some, attention.
I
He's
know,
terrific.
man. He deserves it. He really deserves it. He's so brilliant in the movie, and I just love him as a person too. He deserves it all. I'm so happy for him.
And what was it like producing that film?
Um, it was hard, you know, but the best kind of hard, and I had a great team. I had a great partner, Tyler Davidson and Drew Sykes at Low Sparks and me, you know, and that was it. It was a really kind of ragtag operation. But we just kind of, you know, we just kind of muscled through and just don't worry about that noise. Oh God. It's time for me to take my medication. No. Um, but anyway, what was I saying?
talking about producing partners.
Oh yeah, they were great. And yeah, we just, and John Patton Ford, man, what a talent. He's just so great. That guy's got lots of things, ahead of him. So I'm excited to see what he does. But yeah, it just felt honestly, it felt like the best kind of version of independent filmmaking. It just was like all heart.
That's great. And I think while you're obviously one of the better known, at least in America, cast members on The White Lotus, I think a lot of fans like to seek out projects from the people involved. Do you think that White Lotus fans who like Harper are prepared for what they'll meet with Emily?
No, I don't think so. I hope not. I don't see any I don't see any really similarity between those characters. I mean, the one thing that I have said about both of them is that they both start, you know, Emily starts the movie and Harper starts the show at an 11 in my head, in my mind. Like, which I think is really, which is great because you find them at the beginning and they're already not in a good place. So you don't know what's going to happen because you just go like, well, both of these women are just they're not happy. Something's going on. There's something brewing. So I would say that's the only kind of similarity. But I would hope that people would kind of forget Harper when they watch Emily the Criminal. I mean, such a different character, everything about it, just physically and just even just yeah, just kind of I don't know. It's really different. I hope, but I can't control what people think.
Well, but you've said this now before a lot that basically each of your roles are so different. And I mean, I saw you in Black Bear at Sundance. That was terrific. And Happiest Season, you have a lot of different things. Do you really try to take on something radically different with every project that you do?
Yeah, I think yeah. I mean, I don't want to do the same thing over and over again. And that's the thing about Hollywood is you do one thing good and then everybody just wants you to do that over and over again. Um, that's not interesting to me. So, but more importantly than that, I just want to make really great art. I want to make movies and shows that people remember and that don't just kind of disappear into the ether, that people remember.
Of course, I'm also thinking of Safety Not Guaranteed, which I really enjoyed. Um,
Yeah.
and I know you have two TV shows coming up, and I assume you can't say anything, but Olga
I
Dies
do.
Dreaming, Agatha
Oh,
Coven of
right.
Chaos.
Oh, uh,
If there's other things too, that's fine too. But is there anything you can share just about even your excitement level for those projects?
uh, no, I'm very excited.
Awesome.
No, I'm not. No, I'm learning. I haven't been briefed, with the talking points yet. So I'm just gonna let that one lie.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to hopefully talking to you about those when that's something we can do. But thank you for
Sure.
taking a few minutes now and looking forward to everyone discovering all your other performances.
Thank you, Abe. Thanks a
Thank
lot.
you.
Thanks for having me.
Of course, take care.